What up? It's your boy Conserviz 34. Let me know if you guys can't hear me. It is 12:47 in the morning. So don't want to be too loud here. Let me switch this up here. But let me know if you have any issues hearing me here. Just let me know. Anyone who was on, anyone watching the replay, thank you so much for watching this. What a night. What a day. It's been a journey today. I have I walked 6.9 miles today. And as far I think I came into the gorge with about 4 to 5 miles. Now I'm at six. I was at 6.9. Wow. Anyway, we're here to talk about Gorge Night 1 and what a show it was. I'm gonna show it was. I'm gonna try to get my boy John on, and this is really the show right here. Now, the one thing I want to say, if you were not at this show, is you may have even heard it, right? You're thinking, hey man, out to the gorge to see the full band, right? You may say, hey man, like I think everyone got robbed in it. You had to be at this show, I think, to fully understand how great this show was, how special this show was, how emotional this day was. I really don't think anyone left this venue upset or mad about the song choices for night one. And I say that as someone who's very critical of the set list. Now, when I go to the Gorge, well, it's more my second weekend, but when I went to the Gorge last time and when I went, tonight, I don't expect there to be some magical, super duper rare set they slug throughout the sets that they performed. But tonight was, I guess, the best. The thing is this: a lot of things that I've wanted from this band happened tonight. And you can't really see this on the set list per se. Some of it you can, some of it you can't. First thing you're going to notice is there is no Big Whiskey. No Big Whiskey in the group team. No offense to that album. Great studio album. I don't want to hear that album. Lying in the Hands of God, Dive In, everything else, kick rocks. Great songs. Not bad songs. They are great songs. Just not, to me, the stuff I want to hear from D&B. When I listen to D&B, I want to hear what I heard tonight. For the Table and Dream, for Some Devil. You know what I want Dave to cover? I want Dave to cover his solo album, Some Devil, which is an amazing album. Even though these were the standard cookie cutter songs from Some Devil, they're still great songs. They still sound great live. Gravedigger, the build up for that song was powerful tonight, and I heard this song in Guilford. It sounded better tonight, right? Musically, you could probably pick apart certain things. Doesn't matter. The energy of that song was amazing tonight, right? We have 3 Crash, 3 covers, 2 custom stuff. 1 Before These Crowded Streets, 1 Every Day, 1 unreleased, 1 Come Tomorrow. The other thing I wanted from this band that I've been waiting for, didn't expect it, wasn't owed it at all. I wanted them to, if you're going to play a Come Tomorrow song, play one of the best songs. Black and Bluebird, Virginia in the Rain are those 2 songs that, to me, are at the top of the list. Great wedding song. Overall, I don't need to. I'd love for my wedding, but Virginia in the Rain, to me, if they're gonna ever play a Come Tomorrow song ever again, play those 2. Don't play anything else. This was amazing to just get from a set list perspective. I'm just talking about not to playing what albums to play. So no Big Whiskey, No stand up, right? Unless you're playing American Baby intro, pure, right? Interpolating it, and it's been an interpolation for with "Lying in the Hands of God." Great song, great interpolation. Unless you're doing that, I don't want piece of A Town Down. Yeah, Stolen Away, great song, right? Hunger for Steady as We Go, great song. I don't need it. I don't need it, right? Hell again, it's a good song. I don't need it. This band thrives off of difficulty, off of challenge, off of adversity. There's some people that thrive off of adversity. Like if they can't have just a boring life, they have to have action. Actually, have to have adventure. You ever seen or dated someone, male or female, that sometimes they're not meant for the easy breezy, beautiful marriage life, but they're like when their life is crazy, when it's on the edge, they have fun, and when the edge ends, the relationship goes downhill. Yeah, that's this band. This band thrives when it's challenged. It thrives under adversity, right? Boyd Tinsley leaves this band. What do? They take some risks for a Super Bowl show. Some of those risks not so good. Some of those all right. But I really commend the band the night of the Super Bowl, right? They bring in Buddy Strong. They say no violin, hard pass. That we wanted as fans, but they were challenged. And what we found is a song like Everyday, which to me is the weakest song on this list of just bangers. It's become a crowd favorite, and I say that meaning, yes, is this the song I'm looking to hear tonight? No, but does the crowd really rock with this? And has this been a song that the crowd's connected with, Buddy? Absolutely. Have no problem with it being played tonight. Just look, it fit, right? Every song fit. Every song to me was again being there. But this band thrives off of dark times. This band thrives off of adversity. It thrives off of challenges. Dave was challenged tonight. Voice was shot at the end, but he was challenged. He lived up to it. We'll talk about Buddy in a moment, but Tim Reynolds. You know another thing I wanted from this band? I wanted Tim Reynolds to play acoustic guitar for a full band set. All right, John, I'm gonna get you that link here. Give me one moment. We're gonna get John Dix on, who is back at his respective place. But Tim on acoustic for part of this show. We pretty much got a little bit of taste of Dave and Tim in Mexico for about half the price of having to pay for Dave and Tim in Mexico. All right, John. Let me see if I can get you this link. But I mean, we got the Dave solo. So the first we have Dave solo. Gray Street, Ants Marching, Virginia in the Rain, just amazing. We get Dave and Tim, Bartender Two Step, Lie in Our Graves, Crush. I mean, these are songs they came out of the gate with songs that are in the mid to end set. They just played them right away. That is what makes this band. That's what really it's again, it wasn't like, oh, did we get Spoon? No. Did we get Dreaming Tree? No. Who cares? They just came out the gate and mixed it up. And that is what made this show special. We had the other pretty powerful moment here is after Tripping Billies, which was also mid-set, a surprise. John, let me know if you got the link. Just let me know if it worked or not. But Dave just says, "Hey, who wants to hear Buddy Strong on drums?" Like, you imagine being at a show and the keyboardist is at his little keys set up with the organ keys, various things, and Dave just says, "Who wants to hear Buddy Strong on drums?" And lo and behold, Buddy Strong was on drums um, for the Maker. Save Me, Gravedigger, Stay or Leave, So Damn Lucky. Then, you know, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself and Sledgehammer. I think it was one of the openers hopped on. Um, John, I send you. Let me know if this works. But this was just a show. Oh, we're gonna bring John in a second. But this was just a show that, from beginning to end, exhibited so many different things. And when you take away the garbage songs, you take away the newer stuff, and you play the classics. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna bring on the homie, the uh, the godfather of Black D&B fans, Mr. John Dix. How's it going, John?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm in trying to keep it down. I know you got you got a special property, Airbnb type property. I'm in a hotel, so a little down. No one can hear you though. You can talk as loud as you want, Meek Mill style yell, because you're through my headphones. But what did you think about tonight?
First off, let's just start from the very top. About I say about 11 o'clock a.m. The news comes out. Due to COVID or whatever. We're gonna have a alternate alternative format of a show. So then rumors are scrambling. People are in the lots are chirping. Everybody's like, "What's going on?" Everybody speculating who it is. Is it Carter? Is it Stefan? Is it Dave? Is it Buddy? Or one of the horn players? So when the opener comes out, Dave comes out and announces that, hey, it's Carter and Stefan, and he's gonna do his best, to give us a good show. So then we're hearing rumors maybe Robert Randolph may come out because he did post a little teaser or he posted a little something, I don't know, like him playing drums. And I guess that was all cap because Robert Randolph was nowhere to be seen tonight. And so Dave comes out, solo dolo, first song, Gray Street. And then after that, the set was really off to the races. It was a fun show. It was actually the first show. Another thing, it was the first show that you and I have ever been to together, which is very awesome. It was great to watch a show with you and get your critical analysis, and your guitar background came in handy when predicting certain songs. So that was really good. I really enjoyed sitting with you. But from start to finish, the set was great. It was cool to hear them experiment again. Seeing Buddy on the drums, that was something that I would have never predicted. If they would have said, "Hey, Buddy Strong's gonna be playing drums for D&B," I would have been like, "You're definitely crazy right now." So that was cool. Then Dumpster Funk came out and played "Thank You," and that was a fun song. Then they closed. What did they close with again? I forgot. I'm sorry.
The set closer or the
Yeah. What was the set closer after "Thank You"?
they played Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. So they played Sledgehammer, and typically, Sledgehammer is not something that like I'm excited to hear, but I was very curious to hear it in this format. And this was literally a Dave and Friends show because there was no original band members on stage other than Dave. There was no
No, this
original band member. I don't know if that's ever happened under a Dave Matthews Band bannered show where there was no original members other than Dave. So to me, tonight was a Dave and Friends show. It was not a Dave Matthews Band show. And they played all the hits tonight, and they played the good hits, the hits that you want to hear.
Yeah.
And I had a good time. Ants in the second spot, Gray Street third verse, first opener, Bartender. We had a Warehouse. We had a two-step. Nancy's, Graves, Warehouse. We got half of the Some Devil album. Mind you, it's the songs that we've already heard, but hey, they were still good songs. I'll take any of those Some Devil songs over a Come Tomorrow song. And we still got 2 more nights of this. So what's tomorrow? What's Sunday gonna bring? So I'm very optimistic, and I left the show just happy. I have zero complaints about tonight's show. I heard on the way out of the show, though, I did hear a guy complaining because Carter didn't went there. I was like, dude, I was like, this was a special treat of a show. You cannot complain. Like you still got all the songs that you probably wouldn't have got Two Step Bartender, a Warehouse, Nancy's and Graves all in the same set if this would have been a normal D&B show.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is, I've always said, obviously I go to Dave and Tim shows and I miss the full band. I've seen Dave solo within the mix of certain sets, and sometimes is it always like a sister? Do I want to hear that necessarily? But I think ultimately, if I can hear Dave's guitar and his voice after this pandemic, especially if I can just hear his guitar and his voice, that's all I need.
I can't see that set list. Did anything change on it?
Nope. So nothing changed. We'll zoom in on that here. Nothing changed. It's pretty. Now you have your Grave Street, Anth, Virginia for the solo. Bartender, Two Step, Graves, Crush, Warehouse. Bartender, Two Step, Graves, Dave and Tim, the full band, Warehouse, What Would You Say, Everyday, Tripping Billies. Tony comes in on the bass. Buddy on drums for Maker, Save Me, Grave Digger, Stay or Leave, and So Damn Lucky. Devin and Ivan Neville, a legendary, I believe he's a Neville brother. Thank You and Sledge, and then Encore Windows and Nancy with Just Tim. So yeah, everything was as planned last minute. And I was saying earlier, I think you may have caught it, to me, the most complete, the best band is when they're challenging themselves, when they face adversity. That's when I find you get to see it's like if it's like an airplane, right, that's in trouble. When an airplane is in trouble and you have Sully Sullenberger flying the plane and lands it in the Hudson River, you get to see how this guy is a professional. But if you just go on a regular and it's mostly on autopilot, there's something about when professionals make mistakes. Even in football, a team will be down 3 touchdowns to a trash team and they come back. I think you get to see who people really are in this sense of adversity.
If you look at this set list on paper and not and let's say you look at this set excuse me, you look at this set list and let's say you got Carter and Stephen with the band. This will be hands down one of the best sets in the past, like post Boyd era.
Absolutely. And I think that I was saying earlier, it's just, again, you take away the rock part of this band. And you actually get the Dave Matthews Band. It's Dave and Friends, but this is the Dave Matthews Band, right? Big Whiskey, great studio album. I don't need it. I see a rock band. And I just, that's what I really look at, is that you take all this away. And I think with, I know Carter and Stefan, like I said, we just want to send our prayers and our best wishes to them. I don't blame them at all, right? We don't know the full story, and listen, they shouldn't be at this show. Test positive for COVID right now. That's where we're at. What we're gonna do long term, that's a whole different discussion because I mean everyone's gonna get COVID just like everyone gets to COVID. But I think tonight I was never mad at the band itself. I may have been frustrated as talked us through your day. I was a little upset with the way it was worded or phrased by social media, but I understand it's a difficult decision to make. Any thoughts from the social media standpoint from the man how all this went down?
The way they presented it was very professional. They're not going to give you too much information via social media. They just went, your typical PR stance on that. Nothing not to not be expected. I knew once we got into the show, I know it's probably more frustrating to those who weren't at the shows than us at the show because we knew that we were going to get immediate answers within the next 2 or 3 hours. So I wasn't really concerned over that. Um, but hey, it was bound to happen sooner than later. Luckily, it wasn't Dave because if it was Dave, then you would definitely have to cancel the show. And I sacrificed a lot to get here, and so I definitely do not want to miss a Gorge. If I can get past SPAC, after SPAC, man, I mean, if stuff gets canceled, moved around, I can live with it. But just let me get through SPAC unscathed, and then the chips will fall where they may, I guess.
I mean, I think if
And
this
Dave's
was
been the
any
most
other,
careless of any of the. It's crazy because Dave's been the most careless.
oh, absolutely, and that's something that conversation isn't being talked about enough. But that's just the nature of COVID, right? People have done everything possible, even wear masks and get it vaccinated. Dave's been the one taking selfies, right? You're grabbing someone else's phone, right? Think about all the stuff that stays on these phones. And you're taking the selfie, you're bringing it back to the fan, right? You're bringing kids on stage. Where you think kids have been? They're not social distance. If the parents bringing their kid to the show, you think they're sheltering them from Bobby and Timmy and Joey and the
Did you see the
spread?
picture I posted of Dave backstage?
So I did see that. We did
Everybody around him was wearing a mask, but he's not wearing one.
yeah, let's get that up. Yeah, I'm gonna give me one moment. I'm gonna pull that and then we can share it. That was from the group chat. Yeah. Photo. We'll get that up here. Get that up and thank you. I'm sure a bunch of y'all. It's 4:11 Eastern time right now. Thank you for people who are watching on the replay. Let me go. What I'm gonna do is put this on Twitter, and then that way I can access it. I can access it on. And I don't know if anyone, by the way, while I'm getting this up, the news, the news station asked me for permission to use to use my video, as long as they give me credit. And I thought about it for a second because I could have been like, "Hey, I need the bag, right?" Because you can work out a deal with the news; they pay you for it. But I was like, whatever. I would love to get the people to see my page. So if you saw this on what is this? If you caught, if you saw this on the NBC affiliate in Northeastern Washington, um, was it KHQ TV? And you were like, "Who's this Conservative 34? Thank you for checking out my page." This is a channel that I love talking D&B. I love getting reaction from the show. If I'm not, I was there today, but if I'm not there, I like to talk to people to get some things from there. So this is, let's see. What we'll do is we will add it to this. Tweet it. Another moment, well, thank you guys for your patience. Another moment of the show, the Save Me extended outro. Dave appeared to just all right, we're done, but people, it's hard to communicate with everyone. Not as IEMs on per se, from what we know. What I would think is that it's hard to communicate with people who are new band members. I mean, not new band. It's hard to when there's people on stage that you're not playing with every night. It's hard to get everything timed. But I actually liked moments like that where they just kept playing. And the Save Me was that example of just, okay, they're going to keep playing this and keep playing it. They didn't have, when you play a bartender, Dave and Tim style, that's not a 20-minute bartender, so there's a lot of time to fill. So they extend that outro. This is the picture of, now, this dude over here with the hair out, he doesn't have a mask. But yeah, everyone else has a mask on and Dave doesn't. So yeah,
I snapped those from the lawn.
Yeah, shout out to John Dix who gave us updates, and we had I put those up on my page. Some of the one of them of you getting in, taking a picture, and we thank you for that, John, because ultimately your report to me helped a lot of fans who, like me, weren't there yet. Right?
Yeah.
I was still an hour or so away, allegedly in an undisclosed location somewhere in the middle of Washington. All right, I'm not dropping the Addy. The thing is, I was not at the venue, and I stopped everything. I checked into my hotel and I stopped everything. I just froze.
Some people thought the show might have gotten canceled. That's the funny thing, is some people thought the show was actually going to get canceled.
I was one of those people, and the reason was when you see this announcement, right, and you have messages and shout out, I would do the same thing, right? If I wasn't at the show and I knew someone was there, I'd be like, bro, what's going on? When I'm trying to call the campground people, the people at the campground already, they're trying to call me, right? I'm trying to message people who weren't there. It was a crazy time. And I didn't read the full statement clearly, but like the first 5 times. And I was like, I told you at the show, I was like freaking out. I was like, John, are you in? Are you in? Are you in? I was waiting for you.
Yeah, I was one of the first ones in.
I was so thrown off by just the fact that there's an announcement and you're hearing there's an alternate setup. Yes, they never said it was canceled, but when you're just reading this and you're on your way to the show, and the average person that's not camping is probably driving 45 minutes to an hour.
Right? Yeah, we drove 50 minutes.
Right. There's very few locations that are less than 30 minutes away, and those have been scooped up. There's a new hotel right by the Gorge. Allegedly, they had extra rooms. Someone posted on D&B Family, but I didn't see. I looked it up. I couldn't find it, so maybe you had to call, drop by the plug for the rooms there. But I mean, long story short, this is a venue. This is not New York City. This is not Seattle, right? They don't play Seattle. They just play the Gorge, which makes sense. But this is not a city where most people are, just taking a cab or taking, from their hotel, walking to this. This was something, and they're all pre-gaming. It's no, you're either at the show early or you're driving to this show for night one. Campers were still coming in. That's the thing is, not to cut you off now, but campers, I was talking to someone who was just getting there to camp. Some campers who got stuck in traffic, Labor Day traffic, they were driving 2-3 hours that day to set up. And they, night one, they kind of roll in a little late. And the rest of the nights they get there early. They're going to be camped, set up. But there were people that had their camping gear in the back of their car, in the back of their trailer, and they were still looking to park. When I walked in the venue, there were still people pulling in to go camping. Can you imagine that? Like you driving your trailer and there may be one show, there may be no shows. I can't imagine that.
Well, at least we're never going to get tomorrow. Dave already told us, they'll be back. So,
right. And even tonight, I mean, I don't want to knock on wood, but even just having tonight was special.
A special show, our first show together, man. Number 80 for me. It was a magical night, man. My first Gorge trip. Everything was perfect, man. I had a good time, man. Got all 3 posters, so I was really happy about that. And I'm ready to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, and what do you think about, for those you don't know, John does not go to your Live Nation lawn. He's not a lawn guy. He typically wants a closer seat, and you were in the lawn for this show. What did you think about the Gorge lawn?
Where I was positioned with my lawn chair, dead center down there on the front of the terrace, perfect view. It felt like an upper pavilion seat at most amphitheaters. And then once I surveyed the pit and and I guess you would call that the pavilion, it's very flat. You can't, if you're not in the first 5 or 6 rows, there's no point. So I think I'm going to ride out this lawn pack these next 2 nights, which is unheard of. You would never hear me say I don't mind being in the lawn. But the lawn at the Gorge is totally different than the lawn like at Deer Creek or SPAC. Those lawns are zoos. But this lawn was pretty chill. It was really tame, nothing crazy. It was really like laid back and relaxed. It felt like you were at a fish show or something out there. It was really chill compared to the lawn like at Deer Creek where it's just a circus out there and you could lose your life out there. But here it was pretty chill. I sat down the entire show. You were with me.
Oh, absolutely. And I told you during the show, if you guys have seen previous streams, I've said this. Drunken Soldier is played Gorge Night 1 in 2019. I mean, it was quiet. And I'd rather actually have it quiet than people talking and being wild. And I think that's what makes the Gorge great. There's a lot of knowledgeable fans. There's a lot of casual fans. This is a Labor Day tradition. You live in Washington.
Yeah, a lot of people bring in full families. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, and the environment there's no other environment like the Gorge. And just like you said, that was me in 2019. I don't do lawns. The views can be pretty rough, even when you have a semi-decent view. There's people talking and loud. And but at the Gorge, the lawn is amazing, just because of how it's set up. You're on a cliff. And like you said, it's really like being at the front of the lawn is like being up a pavilion. The lower level, I will say, once you get down there, like the pit itself and in those areas, you're still close. The only thing I think about the pavilion seats is how tight it is. They really pack you in. Like those are cookout chairs. But
yeah,
you can still kind of see over. It is flat, right? Don't get me wrong, but there's a little bit of elevation. But the biggest thing is, I think the seats, you're packed in there like sardines. If you're not closer to an aisle, it is. I mean, I felt like when a show started night 2 last year, it was like wherever my seat was, I lost it. It's like you're in a pit with chairs in front of you and behind you, and you can't move.
that's how I used to be in the pits back in the day before they did GA pits.
Oh, okay. Or they would do the chairs, but I still think I will say though, That was only one part of, I've only had one experience. I know people who do get seats every time, and if you get a seat in the lowers, the actual like the 100 level, they're a little bigger. I think the back of the 200s is where you're better off just sitting in the lawn uh, there. So I mean, we've gone over a lot. I mean, it is really late, but we do appreciate you being
Yeah,
on.
I'm about to turn in, man. I'm tired, and we got to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. As a night, it was nice to have our first show together, and number 80, your first Gorge show. Get some sleep, man.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
So, I mean, there's so much that is floating in my mind, and I hope I captured all of it. But I guess just to sum it up, this was a night where the unexpected happened. Um, I remember driving. I got the news in the parking lot. I was picking up some pizza, and I was driving to the hotel I'm at now, and I said, God, you're in control. It's out of my control, and I know, whether you're religious or not. I just said, look, God, you have a plan. It's not me, it's you. And wow, what we were lying in the hands of God, and what a great night it was. Um, I'll have some videos uploaded. Now, these videos will be very far away. Usually, if you've been a fan of my channel, usually I have better quality videos, but I thought it was important to capture some of the moments from the beginning of the set. Towards the end of the set, I didn't take any video. I just took in the set. Sirius XM Radio, if you don't have it, subscribe to it. It's cheaper than, it's like $9.99 a month, right? And you get Friday night concert series shows. You can play them on replay at any time. Every summer they kind of stock them up, and you can keep them. And throughout the summer, until they have a new set of shows, you can replay those shows, including this one. I listened to it on the way back. Um, there's a feature on the app where you can reset it back an hour, and I listened to the last hour of the show in the Sirius XM app. So shout out to that. Shout out to Dave and Rachel. For those of you who are on Facebook, I did I was on a live stream this morning. And Shut Up, I Love You podcast. You look them up. Where's the setup? So Shut Up, I Love You podcast. Look them up. And what you're going to want to do is go to video. No, that's the wrong one. So it's not Shut Up, I Love You, the podcast. It's Shut Up, I Love You. Where is it? This one. Oh, yeah, here's what you're going to do. So it is Shut Up, I Love You, the podcast. What you're going to do is go to live. I'm going to play some of this, but like I said, check out their Facebook page. Yeah, check out their podcast. I've posted on previous ones on Apple Music, Spotify. Look up Shut Up, I Love You. They have an awesome podcast. Dave and Rachel are amazing human beings, and I met Rachel for the first time. I had hung out with Dave earlier in the summer, and they always give me A1. Just whenever I come, they all, It's always great to me when I come on their podcast. Let's see if we can. Oh, here it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is shut this off. On. And then let me see if I can. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that we can share audio on this. So I come in.
And I think that even though we're live and David really doesn't want to leave the camera because everybody wants to see his beautiful face, I think that he has to leave the camera for a minute.
I have to let Rachel take
Oh,
over.
guys, I cannot express to you how stressed he is right now because I'm kind of in charge. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a really good time, and we're not gonna tell him about it because we got to boost his ego and make sure that he knows he is the heart of the show. I'm just a sidekick. I'm not that important. So friends, Shut Up, I Love You presents Rachel. He said no large hand movements. We're not going to tell him that I just did that. He's on his way back. And see, remember, it was all good times. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
There wasn't a tragedy. Just that I didn't vomit on camera. It didn't happen.
So, you ready?
Hi, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus. So we invited our friend Marcus over because he's actually invited me on his show a few times. So we invited Marcus over to come hang out with us. So friends, Marcus, Concert Vids 34. What's up, bud?
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing
Good
well.
morning. Good
Doing
morning.
well.
Yeah. And you, he yelled at me, actually, friends. He goes, Dave, you want me to drive 45 minutes to come hang out with you on your show? Yeah. I didn't understand.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how spread out everything. You've
we-
said it before.
Yeah,
but it's
we really
spread
thought
out.
it was like 10-minute drive.
Everything is 40 to 50 minutes away.
Yeah. So we really appreciate you doing this and being here.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Good. Yay. Can I get you a cup of coffee?
You have juice? I'm not a coffee drinker.
Yeah, actually there is juice. You talk to David and I'll start holding up choices.
So, how much about the other bands that are playing do you know? Have you followed? I mean, obviously, like I've heard Rudolph, like I'm down, but the other couple guys, like, have you heard them? Are you?
To be honest, I've heard of maybe Staples, but I haven't really delved into their music. So
Okay.
I'm really going to be experiencing this for the first time, which I think sometimes is a better way to experience it.
Oh yeah.
Not know anything coming in. It's an opener you don't know, and you just take in the music live for the first time. So.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that last night. One of the questions that was kind of brought up was, what concert would you say pleasantly surprised? Had little or no expectation going into the concert, but walking away, you're like,
As far as an opener, or as far
just
as
in general, just any concert.
Dave Matthews Band show.
Okay, yeah.
I knew the band, but I never really experienced it. And the people who went to the shows in Connecticut in high school didn't have the best taste in music. So I was like, okay,
I get that.
good can it be live? And I was surprised. I think Another band, the Revivalists.
Okay.
A band that I saw and I was just like, wow. They have so much energy. They
Okay.
have so much passion. They have a unique mix of horns with the rock.
Yeah.
Because you don't see many people doing. They also just every show is different.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you're gonna get. To find is that mix between they have some hits that are in movies and
Yeah, yeah.
They have
I mean, you
stuff
said the
that's like-
Revivalist, and I feel like I recognize the name, but like I don't know that I know the music off the top of my head, and I'm sure I do. As soon as you play the song, yeah. Yeah. I just thought that was a pretty interesting conversation because, yeah, I agree. The first time I went and watched Dave Matthews Band, I was blown away. I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I got to keep doing this thing. Obviously, years later, I'm still doing this thing because of how blown away I was the first time
Such a good
watching
time.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tell us about. So, if you don't know Marcus hangs out at Concert Bits 34 on Twitter.
Promote yourself, please.
Promote yourself. There you go.
Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube being the main thing that I do. I decided to, about just about a half decade ago to try to capture stuff from concerts, but not just the 30-second clip you put up for social media clout, but to capture a full song, a full portion of a show, and share it with people so that they can get a little bit of a sneak peek.
Yeah.
And that idea really, everything from Stevie Wonder to Dave Matthews Band to Earth, Wind, and Fire to the Revivalists. Doing that has brought me so much joy to be able to share just parts of a show. If you were going to that tour and you just want to get an idea, if you don't know about a band and you just want to get that experience, or you went to the show and you can relive it, I find joy in sharing part of that.
Yeah.
The passion.
And then giving it to other people. Another part of my channel is I feel like there's a lot of commentary on YouTube about other bands, right? I'm a huge hip hop fan. A lot of people talk about that.
Yeah.
There's Grateful Dead fans, Deadheads that record things and have opinions, but I didn't see a lot of it in the D&B side.
Okay.
So I like this idea of having videos that I would just put out about changes in the band, new albums, after shows.
Discussion.
Yeah, discussion.
Talk about it from a sense of trying to balance out, have opinions so you can like that, but also still try to work something more like even out in Seattle. It's more balanced, right? It's laid back, California laid back. So I enjoy.
So that's a little bit of the interview. You can check it fully at go on Facebook, Shut Up I Love You podcast, and go to their live. Just to bring back here.
Having that part of the
Shut
channel.
Up I Love You, and then you're gonna get to home. Really, you want to go to their live page. Go live. You'll see the one. They only have one stream. Again, go on Apple. Go on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or their website, shutupiloveyou.com. Tomorrow, Tailgate Caravan is going to be in the main general lot, spreading a message of love, talking about the summer of love and the love signs, which is in memory of a great person who passed. So if you see those love signs, there's a rhyme and reason to it. Shut Up I Love You website also has a link to learning about the love signs as well. Buy your sign here. There'll be some at the show tomorrow. Tailgate Caravan. Look out for them in the main lot. They'll be tailgating there. But that is all I have for now. Thank you guys for watching. If it's your first time watching one of my streams, thank you for watching. Like I said in the interview, I like to be honest. I like to not be too overly negative, but I'm not someone who's going to sit here and say everything about every show is perfect. Right? We want to be fair. We want to be balanced. We want to be realistic too. When the band's losing members due to COVID, want to appreciate what we get and look for the good and a shocking and best wishes to Carter and Stefan as they have tested positive for COVID. We know this thing. Some people. Dave even said because of the vaccination, or fine vaccination or not, this thing is serious. Some people are okay. Some people have symptoms, so we don't want to take this lightly. And there's a lot more that will be revealed in the coming weeks. All right, that's all for tonight, or this morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. 34. We'll be back on tomorrow after the show.